Hi, in this video I'm going to talk about box breathing and how you can practice it and then use it to shift yourself out of a panic attack and move out of a panic attack so that you're having a different kind of experience. I'm Orla Kirby, I'm a therapist and I specialise in helping people to move themselves away from severe anxiety and OCD so that they can feel more confident, more deeply calm, more truly themselves and able to create the kind of life they really want to create for themselves. Okay, so in terms of box breathing, the basic method is to, if you think of it like a box shape, right? You breathe in for 5 seconds, you hold your breath for 5 seconds, you breathe out for 5 seconds, and you hold your breath for 5 seconds, right? And you do that again, that whole breath, 5 or 6 times, right? If you do it more than that, you are likely to run low on oxygen, and then that's not going to help with anything. So best to just do this at 5 or 6 times, whether that is practicing or using it in any kind of life situation. I would recommend learning the 4-8 hypnosis breath first. The video before this one in this series or this playlist is all about the 4-8 hypnotic breath. So go back and watch that one if you haven't already. Learn that breath first and then learn this breath, right? In the actual method that this series is partly about, to shift yourself away from panic attack, you'd actually use the box breath first, right? So you would, oh, I noticed that I'm having a panic attack. I realised you wouldn't be feeling that calm about it. But you noticed that you're having a panic attack and you use box breathing 5 or 6 times. Then you use the slow, relaxed 4-8 breathing technique combined with imagination. And that is the whole method of the way of shifting yourself out of panic attack, right? However, you don't learn it that way around. You learn the 4-8 hypnosis breath first because that's just the more effective way around to do it. That's going to make the box breathing easier to learn, right? Because you use some of what you've learned in learning the 4-8 breath in the box breathing, right? So the things that you want to carry through from the 4-8 breathing to the box breathing are, first of all, the body relaxation, particularly facial nose relaxation, that you're breathing through your nose in that special way that I explained in the last video. That your chest and tummy are moving together, right? So when I'm saying in for 5, out for 5, it's your whole chest and tummy moving as you breathe in for 5. It's your whole chest and tummy moving or staying still as you hold. It's your whole chest and tummy moving as you breathe out for 5. Yeah, chest and tummy both staying still as you pause, right? So that chest and tummy together, we're still doing that. Yeah, so those are the things that carry forward, right? The physical relaxation, breathing through your nose in this special way with your face really relaxed, and moving your chest and tummy together, right? And those things are easier to learn in the 4-8 breath that the last video is on. So go back and learn that one if you haven't learned that already. That might take quite a while. That might take a month to learn, might take 3 months to learn, right? Depending on where you are at the beginning. And do feel free to be in touch with me if you're trying to learn that breath and you're struggling or questions come up. Really happy to answer emails about that. So, absolutely do get in touch, or you could leave comments beneath this video and I'll answer you here. And at the same time, it is also just going to take time as well. So once you've got a handle on the 4-8 breath, this one probably isn't going to take you that long to learn, and you don't necessarily need to lie down or do anything special to practice it. You could practice it standing up, you could practice it sitting down, you can practice it walking around, right? Because you'll already have a handle on the 4-8 breath, so you're going to be quite a sort of effective expert breathing practitioner at this point, right? Which is great. So this oughtn't to take you that long. You could just practice, do 5 or 6 box breaths in the morning, do 5 or 6 in the evening. If you did that every day for a week or 2, you'd probably have a handle on this, right? So, again, we're all different. So, different things can take different amounts of time for different people to learn. So who knows? But I wouldn't expect this to take you as long to learn as the 4-8 breathing once you've really mastered the 4-8 breathing. So, I might just briefly tell you then, seeing it's quite a simple technique to talk about, I might just briefly tell you kind of why does this work, right? Why is this useful? And why does it help shift out of the panic attack when combined with those other things? Well, this is actually a technique that was invented, perhaps kind of oddly. This may or may not appeal to you, I guess, depending on your views and feelings about things. I'm a bit mixed in my response to this, but it was invented by the Navy SEALs, right? As a way of being able to shift into a parasympathetic nervous system state. So the parasympathetic nervous system being the one associated more with calm states, right? Sympathetic nervous system is active when we're in fight or flight. Parasympathetic, more active when we are calmer. So a way of, people in the Navy SEALs being able to switch themselves more into a parasympathetic nervous system state, even under extreme stress or pressure, right? And since it was developed by scientists there, it's now been used around the world for many, many different people. It's definitely had loads of mental health applications, but also for people, for police and for paramedics and for surgeons or anyone who is sometimes facing situations that are very stressful, where there can be danger, there can be, last minute change or something goes wrong, and you need to be able to keep a hold of yourself, right? You need to be able to pause and gather yourself and not go into a panic, right? Or not go into, oh God, what have I done, right? It's very important to, if you imagine there's a surgeon operating on someone and either they make a mistake themselves or someone else makes a mistake, something goes wrong, they find something they weren't expecting, any of those things could potentially, right, lead a surgeon to go into a bit of a spiral, right? To get very anxious or very cross at themselves or someone else, or something else that would mean they didn't have as full access to their skills or weren't able to carry on with their job as effectively as would be ideal. So this is the application that box breathing here would be to go, oh, okay, hang on. I'm not going to. This is a stressful situation. I'm going to gather myself. I'm not going to spiral into those unhelpful emotions that would be unhelpful at this time, right? So it's a very, very effective, powerful breath for gathering yourself, for inserting a pause, for kind of drawing yourself together, right? And how it works, is connected with the shifting between the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system, and that anytime I'm breathing in, I am to an extent activating the sympathetic nervous system, which is the one associated with fight or flight, right? So even if I'm feeling really calm and blissed out and I'm on holiday, lying on a beach, and I've had a lovely year, everything's amazing, right? I'm still, every time I breathe in, to an extent activating the sympathetic nervous system, that more fight or flight one. And I can be doing that while feeling really calm and blissed out. And that is because the mind and body just want to keep everything online, right? They want to keep both of those systems up and running. So they're just continually switching a little between, back and forth, right? Similarly, even if I'm very panicked or very stressed, or I'm running for my life even, right? Dreadful things are happening and, my stress level is very high and, generally it's going to be the sympathetic nervous system running the show, right, in that situation. However, every time I breathe out, I'm going to be somewhat activating the parasympathetic nervous system, that calmer one. So that's really interesting, right? That however calm or stressed we are, or whatever kind of situation we're in, we're always anyway alternating to an extent back and forward as we breathe in, right? Sympathetic as we breathe in, parasympathetic as we breathe out. So it's that switch over that this box breathing kind of makes use of, right? It essentially muddles the switch over, and it gives the mind and body a bit of a chance to kind of go, oh, do I need to be in fight or flight? Oh, hang on, right? That's thought to be, by the scientists who developed this method, that was thought to be what made this approach effective, right? That the pause and the two pauses, so you breathe in, you hold your breath, you breathe out, you hold your breath, you breathe in, you hold your breath, that those holds do something that's kind of a bit muddling or blurring with the switch over, the switching between sympathetic as you breathe in and parasympathetic as you breathe out, and that has the impact of allowing a little bit of space for kind of further assessment, right? So that's very interesting, isn't it? Okay, so that's why the box breathing is so useful. Why I generally recommend people adding on the then relaxed, flowing, seamless breath is because we don't want to just have you stop yourself from panicking further, right? We don't want to that's great, right? We also want you to shift yourself into feeling better, right? Into ideally feeling amazing, feeling wonderful. over time, that's going to be possible. At first, it might be more like just making yourself feel slightly better, right? But that's what the 4-8 breath is great for: mood shifting. For, okay, well, how do I want to feel now? I want to feel great. I want to remember this wonderful thing, or this thing I really believe in, or this thing that I find amazing, right? So the 4-8 is about like shifting and relaxing deeply and feeling amazing, or at least closer to that, right? So if you think of the box breathing as almost inserting this pause, gathering yourself together, drawing yourself up, it's kind of inserting a stop, really, yeah? Then the 4-8 is about movement and flow and shifting deliberately into a particular emotional state, or connecting with a particular idea or thought or feeling, right? Okay, so in the next video, I'm going to be talking about that imaginative side of this process that you use alongside the 4-8 breathing after you've done the box breathing. So while you're doing the box breathing, that's quite intense, takes a lot of concentration. You're probably not also imagining a lake or something, right? You're just doing the box breathing. Then you go into, after 5 or 6 box breaths, you then go into the in for 4, out for 8, while imagining something wonderful. And in the next video, I'm going to talk about the things you could usefully be imagining there. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.